All right, thank you so much. All right, so my name is Angela Tuers, and I'm actually new running for the Board of Education, but I am not new to Manchester. I moved here with my husband over 30 years ago. My children went through the Manchester system and graduated, and I'm grateful they actually had a pretty good experience in the schools. That is because they did very well academically, and I do feel that they actually do extremely well with the gifted and talented children, and they do really well, I believe, with the special ed, but I think there's kids, but there's a lot of others that do, as Bob was saying, fall through the cracks. So a little bit about myself. I feel that I am very qualified for this position, as I have over 40 years of experience as a clinical social worker. I work with families and children in various clinical settings, in school settings. I've been a supervisor in a child guidance clinic, and I've been a certified school social worker working in different schools in Connecticut. I've also taught adult education in the Manchester system and taught GED and taught workforce preparation in the Manchester system. Additionally, as an adjunct at the University of St. Joseph, I've overseen graduate social work students in their internship placements throughout different middle and high schools in Connecticut. So I'm very familiar currently with a lot of the issues facing children in the school systems. So these experiences have given me a familiarity with the challenges that children face while obtaining an education. As your candidate, I would definitely address these challenges. So my particular platform would include some of the same items that were talked about before: encouraging intellectual growth and critical thinking, protecting children's education from biases and hidden agendas, finding a solution to reduce absenteeism, which is actually, as was mentioned, quite high in the Manchester system, and encouraging parental involvement and strengthening community partnerships. In terms of the ways I would go about this, I would encourage the use of a curriculum that promotes critical thinking so that students from preschool forward would understand the whys and hows of how the world around them operates. I would support a curriculum that would train them to ask why types of questions, and that would encourage them to explore a curriculum that would teach them how to think versus what to think. And this is more of a challenge now for several reasons. One, there is a danger currently that a particular agenda may be being promoted that challenges or contradicts parental values. And two, as AI, or as we know, artificial intelligence and Google search have ready answers for students without them really doing any research or digging in to find their own answers, there seems to be a diminishing in the sense of creativity and inquisitiveness, with answers only a mouse click away. I would encourage a partnership with parents to reduce absenteeism, a partnership that utilizes a non-judgmental approach. I would increase the use of support personnel, such as social workers, to reach out to families. We need to understand the stressors that are creating the barriers to children attending school. One of the issues is that once kids are absent for quite a while, there is an embarrassment and a sense of shame in reconnecting and going back to school. There is a fear of failure, a feeling of being disconnected with teachers and peers. So I would encourage the use of community partnerships to encourage attendance. For instance, I'm going to have so many ideas about this. Senior centers and civic group volunteers and even religious group volunteers could greet the absent student at the door and welcome them back. In this way, the student would be motivated to learn because they feel valued and feel that their absence was missed. Volunteers could offer one-on-one or small group mentoring of students in the schools. I currently do this as my church partners with Keeney Elementary School. And this is critical for the student with chronic absenteeism to feel welcome back, because they will be the ones that are most likely substantially behind academically. So again, not only are they academically behind, they're emotionally feeling probably embarrassed, humiliated. I would encourage AP students in the high school to have community service credits by mentoring or reaching out to struggling and chronically absent students in elementary and middle schools. They can tutor them in reading and math. I would also have small social groups for students with chronic absenteeism. I would encourage the use of a positive reward system for these students. And when I was overseeing the graduate students placed in various schools, a lot of my graduate students were interacting with the students that were chronically absent, and they were using a behavioral approach to get them back in, working with the parents, and I saw a real good success rate there with the approaches that were used. Lastly, I would discourage social promotions, as this is counterproductive to achieving academic mastery. The student has to have a certain reading and math proficiency in order to be promoted to the next grade, not as an option, but as a requirement to going on to the next level. Pushing students through to the next grade does not work, and that currently is what is happening in the Manchester system. We do not want to graduate students that are behind in their basic math and reading skills. This is currently a problem. And if you look at the test scores, that you'll see that students are very below the standardized level of testing, and again, but they're pushed forward. So these are some of the ideas I have. A great many of these proposals require the use of volunteers that would add value to the school system and would be of no cost to the taxpayers. So I want to work closely with the other Board of Education folks, as well with the superintendent of schools. The success of our students is a nonpartisan goal that both parties need to be committed to. We need to work together to ensure that our children achieve and excel in the Manchester schools. And I am aware that some residents may never have had children in the Manchester schools, or that their children have graduated and are out of the schools, which is the case with my kids. I am not speaking to you as taxpayers. You are still taxpayers despite not having kids in the school. And so you have a stake that your tax money is providing the highest quality of education. These students are the future leaders in tomorrow's world. You need to prepare them for college or to equip them to function in our society. We need to do that by giving them a quality education. Thank you so much for your support in this upcoming election, November 4th. However, as you know, there is early voting, so I am confident, even though a newcomer, that I come with a lot of experience, a lot of great ideas, and I've been able to see these ideas put into practice when I oversaw grad students working in schools. So I am grateful that I will hopefully have your vote and that I will do a great job. Thank you so much.